welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, welcome. I'm Andrea and I'm a travel agent and a photographer, and I love combining my two passions, travel and photography. And welcome to London. We will spend 3 days here. So we are going to see if we can leave some of our items at our accommodation. The check-in would be at 2 p.m. but I don't want to carry all my stuff around. But before that, I have some places in mind that I want to visit, and the first one would be the Orange Pub. I don't know, maybe have a coffee? You might ask me why. Well, I read this book, London Love. It's written by a Hungarian writer and I absolutely loved it. It's actually a series. The main character, Caroline Wood, lives on Pimlico Street and she goes to the Orange Cafe. So the Orange Cafe in the book is actually the Orange Pub. I mean, it should be the Orange Pub in like real life. So we're gonna check that out.
With our bags safely left at the accommodation, it was finally time to begin exploring London. Our first stop was the Orange, a charming pub just a short walk from Victoria Station. Of course, I couldn't simply stop by for a few photos. I had to treat myself to a cappuccino before our adventure really began.
So it's very close. As you can see, here is where Caroline Wood would have lived, and the Orange Cafe is just right behind me. And now we are going to the famous, what is it? Is it a cafe or is it like a bakery? I think it's a bakery, right? Peggy Portion.
From there, we wandered through the beautiful streets of Belgravia. Although we didn't stop inside Peggy Portion this time, it was still lovely to admire its famous pink facade, along with the elegant cafes, boutiques, and flower-filled storefronts that make this neighborhood so charming. Soon it was time for another first. We hopped aboard one of London's iconic red double-decker buses, and I have to admit, riding on the top deck for the first time was every bit as exciting as I'd imagined. A little later, we arrived at our home for the next 3 nights, the W6 Hotel. I chose it mainly because it was located in a quiet neighborhood while still being an affordable option. After dropping our luggage, we headed straight back into central London, ready for one of the places I had been looking forward to the most. But before that, we had another stop.
We were so close to the tiny house, thin house, sorry. And we still have a little time to get to the Science Museum, because actually this was the whole idea of this London trip. You guys know that I'm a Trekkie, and it's Star Trek's 60th anniversary this year, so we are celebrating, and they have this exhibition at the Science Museum. So I was like, you know what, this is like literally a once-in-a-lifetime chance, so I have to come, I have to see it, so I'm super excited. Let's go check it out. And after that, we will head to the Natural History Museum.
This visit was extra special because it was Star Trek's 60th anniversary, and the museum had created a special warp trail that guided visitors to Star Trek artifacts displayed throughout the galleries. With my trail guide in hand, I couldn't wait to start exploring. As both a Star Trek fan and an astronomy enthusiast, this was one of the places I had been most excited to visit. The museum itself is absolutely fascinating, filled with everything from historic scientific discoveries to modern technology and space exploration. One thing I was a little disappointed about, though, was missing the space gallery. I thought it had closed, only to realize later that it had actually been relocated to another part of the museum. So I guess that's one more reason to come back to London someday. Even so, there was still so much to discover. One of the highlights for me was seeing the replica of Blue Origin's New Shepard capsule, along with so many incredible scientific and medical exhibits. Eventually, I reached the Star Trek displays, where I finally got to see iconic props like the tricorder, communicator, and the medical instruments in person. I also loved the interactive engineering gallery, where visitors can step into different technical roles and try everything from operating remotely controlled vehicles to managing power grids and wind turbines. It's such a fun way to learn, no matter your age. Before long, I found another familiar face, Data.
Oh, I get it now. So it's not an entire exhibition only for Star Trek, but in each section you can find something from Star Trek. So like this. And it says Star Trek 60, so you can easily spot them. I found almost everything on the list. I can't wait to see the captain's chair.
Of course, I couldn't leave without adding another souvenir coin to my growing collection before taking a quick look around the museum shop. But my Star Trek adventure wasn't over just yet. Our next stop was the Star Trek pop-up shop, and honestly it felt like walking into paradise. From uniforms and collectibles to tribbles, there was something to admire in every corner. Naturally, I couldn't leave without sitting in the captain's chair, and the guy from the shop even helped me film the moment, getting surprisingly creative behind the camera, which made the whole experience even more memorable. Before our timed entry to the Natural History Museum, we still had a little time to spare, so we treated ourselves to a freshly made soft ice cream and took a short stroll through Hyde Park. Even though it was only a brief visit, it was lovely to enjoy a few quiet moments surrounded by so much greenery in the middle of such a busy city. Soon it was time to head back to one of London's most iconic museums. Before exploring the galleries, I couldn't resist picking up one of the museum's collectible souvenir banknotes. I absolutely love collecting little keepsakes like this from my travels. The museum itself was incredible, although it was also incredibly busy and very hot. Between the crowds and the summer heat inside the building, we ended up moving through the exhibitions much faster than we had originally planned. Still, there was one place I absolutely didn't want to miss: the Hintze Hall. The moment I stepped inside and looked up at the enormous blue whale skeleton suspended from the ceiling, I completely understood why it's become the museum's most famous sight. It was every bit as impressive as I'd imagined, and definitely one of the highlights of our visit. Although we couldn't spend as much time exploring every gallery as we would have liked, I was so happy we made it here. After such a full first day in London, we headed back to our hotel to relax, and of course, no day of sightseeing is complete without a little souvenir haul. From the Science Museum, I picked up some brochures, a cute moon plushie keychain, a piece of quartz, and this cool pen for my friend. The Star Trek shop was also impossible to leave empty-handed, so I got a pin and a magnet. And of course from the Natural History Museum, these banknotes, a magnet and some coins.
Morning guys, so here we are, our second day in London. Sorry for my British accent. I'm trying. Honestly, I do love British accents. I mean, I think it's my favorite English accent. But I'm gonna ditch it because I'm not good at it. So yesterday was really fun. We managed to visit everything I had on my PDF. So everything I had scheduled. If you know me, you know I always have a PDF. If you don't know me, then I will tell you that I always make a PDF with the things that I want to see. London is no exception. I will link it in the description, by the way. It's like a visual guide for everything you want to visit. It's way easier than just having a list or not having anything at all. So yeah, today we will have a fun day. Oh, it's already hot and it's only 9 a.m. By the way, I didn't tell you I'm here with my mom because my friend ditched me. Sorry if you're watching this, but I understand the situation. So yeah, I didn't have anyone else to come with, but at least we're spending time together as mother and daughter. So yeah, right now we're going to Arthur's coffee house, and yeah, I saw this online. It's like a really cute, like it looks very authentic coffee shop. So we're gonna start our day there. I'm already out of breath, and then we will have some fun things to see. So see you there.
Our second day in London began with a stop at one of the city's coziest little cafes, Arthur's Coffee House. I ordered a delicious matcha latte, and although Arthur himself, the cafe's adorable dog, wasn't there that morning, the warm atmosphere made it the perfect way to start another day of exploring. From there, we hopped aboard another iconic red double-decker bus and made our way to Hyde Park. With beautiful weather and plenty of people out enjoying the sunshine, it was the perfect place for a relaxing morning stroll. It's hard to believe that such a peaceful green space sits right in the middle of one of the world's busiest cities. As we continued our walk, we arrived at Kensington Palace, and for me, one of the most meaningful stops here was the statue of Diana, the Princess of Wales, together with her sons, Princes William and Harry. It was a place I had wanted to visit for a long time, and finally seeing it in person felt incredibly special. From there we continued towards one of London's most famous landmarks, Buckingham Palace. No first visit to London would feel complete without stopping by the King's official residence. Standing in front of its famous gates, it's easy to understand why millions of visitors come here every year. A few minutes later, we reached St. James's Palace, but unfortunately the beautiful entrance I had been hoping to photograph was covered for restoration work, so I'll just have to save that for my next visit. Our walk continued through Piccadilly Circus, where once again construction work was underway. It wasn't exactly the view I'd imagined, but that's all part of traveling. You never know what you're gonna find. Next came Leicester Square, another place that had been on my list. It was quite busy, but I still managed to find some of its famous film-inspired statues, including Mr. Bean, Paddington Bear, and Mary Poppins. Since the Lego store was just around the corner, I also popped in to pick up Lego passports for myself and my best friend. After grabbing a quick plate of patatas bravas, which were good but not the real deal, we wandered through Chinatown. Although it was only a short visit, I really wanted to see its beautiful traditional gate before continuing on. One of my favorite hidden gems of the day was definitely Neil's Yard. With its colorful buildings, tiny cafes, and peaceful atmosphere tucked away between the busy streets, it felt like discovering a secret corner of London. Not far away, of course, there was Covent Garden. Being a fan of Around the World with Willy Fogg as a child, I also couldn't resist stopping by both the Scotland Yard Hotel and the new Scotland Yard. It was one of those little personal moments that probably wouldn't make everyone else's itinerary, but it definitely belonged on mine. As the golden hour approached, we made our way to the Victoria Embankment. One landmark I absolutely had to see was Cleopatra's Needle, because obviously I love ancient Egypt.
I'm curious about one thing. What does it come to your mind when you hear the word London? For me, it's the Elizabeth Tower behind me, aka Big Ben. But actually, I just discovered that the tower itself is not Big Ben. But Big Ben is the huge bell in the tower. So that was a new information for me. Growing up, I've been watching Willy Fogg, and when I hear about London, it just brings me back those childhood memories. This is so cool to be actually standing here.
We finished the day where every first trip to London should end, beside Big Ben. As the evening light bathed Westminster in warm golden colors, I spent some time taking photos and simply enjoying the view. My feet, and especially my back, were definitely reminding me how much walking we've done that day, but somehow it all felt worth it. With another unforgettable day behind us, we made our way back to the hotel to rest before one final day of exploring London.
Good morning, my lovelies. So yesterday we passed 30k steps, which is crazy. My back hurt so bad, but I'm fine today. I mean, I have to be. It will be another full day, but hopefully we can visit everything scheduled. Sometimes my schedules are really crazy, and even I can't keep up with them. I'm really proud of my mom that she's keeping up with me, honestly. So right now we have to go back to the Elizabeth Tower, because yesterday I couldn't take a picture there and all of my batteries died. So yeah, that's the plan for today. That's how we start, and after that we will go to Notting Hill. Notting Hill would have been the main starting point for today, but yeah, sometimes plans change.
For our final day in London, we decided to take the tube for the very first time. It turned out to be the quickest way to get around the city, and honestly, it was an experience in itself. Our first stop was Westminster, where I finally got to recreate one of London's most iconic photos, with the famous red telephone box and Big Ben standing proudly in the background. From there we headed to one of the neighborhoods I have been looking forward to the most, Notting Hill. The moment we arrived, I was surprised by just how peaceful it felt. Despite being one of London's most famous neighborhoods, Its quiet streets, colorful houses, and charming cafes made it feel worlds away from the busy city center. One place I really wanted to see was Summerhill and Bishop, with its beautiful storefronts decorated with dozens of colorful ceramic plates. As we wandered through Portobello Road, it was impossible not to recognize some of the filming locations from Notting Hill, walking the same streets as the characters from one of Britain's most beloved romantic comedies made the neighborhood feel even more special. Naturally, we couldn't leave without stopping at Biscuiteers. I treated myself to one of their famous London bus biscuits and a slice of Rocky Road. It was delicious, a bit overly sweet, but delicious. Just around the corner was another place I couldn't miss, the Notting Hill bookshop. Of course, I walked in just to have a look, and just as expected, I didn't leave empty-handed. Before saying goodbye to Notting Hill, we admired the beautiful Colville houses. Those colorful facades are among the area's most photographed landmarks. Our next destination was Paddington Station. I was determined to find Paddington Bear, and after a little treasure hunt through the station, I finally did. First thing I stumbled upon was the bench where Paddington is painted with its marmalade sandwich. And I also wanted to find this colorful statue of Paddington, so I was searching high and low, couldn't find it, but I did find the bronze statue. And the colorful one that I've been searching for was actually inside the Paddington store. From there we made our way to St. Paul's Cathedral. By this point we were both getting quite hungry, so we stopped at Paul for a delicious croque monsieur before continuing our walk. After lunch, I couldn't resist taking one more photo from the beautiful reflection pool nearby, one of my favorite viewpoints of the cathedral. Next came Tower Bridge, another London icon that simply had to be on our itinerary. Standing there with the modern skyline rising in the distance behind the historic bridge perfectly captured what makes London so unique, a city where centuries of history exist alongside striking modern architecture. Our final destination of the afternoon was Greenwich. Made it to Greenwich. This was like a must for me. We first stopped to see the Greenwich Meridian sculpture before making our way uphill towards the Royal Observatory. For anyone planning a visit, it's worth knowing that if you'd like to stand on the famous Prime Meridian line inside the observatory, you'll need an entrance ticket, which I believe it was about £25. My mom decided to relax outside while I continued the visit on my own. Once inside the Royal Observatory, there was only one place I wanted to see first, the Prime Meridian. Standing with one foot in the Eastern Hemisphere and the other one in the Western Hemisphere was such a surreal feeling. The view from the hill overlooking London was just unforgettable. Seeing the city stretching out below made the climb completely worthwhile. Since I was already there, I also took some time to explore the museum. Although it's not particularly large, I found it incredibly interesting. From historic telescopes and navigation instruments to the fascinating story of how Greenwich became the reference point for time and longitude, it was a visit I genuinely enjoyed. If you're even a little interested in astronomy, navigation, or the history of science, I definitely recommend adding it to your London itinerary. And with that, our 3 unforgettable days in London came to an end.
Well, my dears, that was it for this vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry if it will be long, but we had so much to visit, and I think I got to check off almost everything on my PDF. By the way, don't forget that it will be linked in the description if you're interested to check it out, use it for your next trip. I really hope that it will be helpful. Thank you so much again for joining me, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye!
Before wrapping up this vlog, here's a quick look at everything I brought home with me. From the Paddington store, I picked up some delicious orange marmalade, a cute set of lip balms with a Paddington keyring, and of course a little Paddington bear. A keychain from the Royal Observatory, also some London postcards, and a bookmark, and some cute mini matches, a Stormtrooper keychain for my friend, a London coin from the History Museum, of course the Lego passports, with our first 5 stamps, a plain paged agenda with such a cute cover that I could not resist, and from the Notting Hill bookshop, a pin, a wooden postcard, and another one, a Tower Bridge magnet, and some tote bags for myself and my friends. Oh, and also a Paddington bear coin. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!